Hello. Welcome back yet again to another edition of the Have You Seen podcast. I am your host, Mike Bibbins, joined today by two guests, frequent collaborators. You should know them if you've been listening in the past. Maurice Williams at Mindy Reese on Instagram, at M of R25 on Twitter. Reese, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, sir.
Bro pulled out the
hey, come on, man.
Cujo out here, like
they can't see me. Why you?
He rolled up on the camera.
Real smooth with it too.
With it.
Hey, yo,
thanks, baby
don't ever
cakes.
make that sound again. Don't. Hey, go, skip me, man. Go ahead, man.
All right, back on track. And this second guest, another frequent collaborator. I can't remember the last time that you were on, actually, now I think about it, but I did just put out the Zola review. I had to move it over to this feed, so I just put that one out. I was listening to it earlier. Shy Miller of the Uncool Urban, at Shy Miller 13 on Twitter. You said at Shy Miller on Instagram, right?
Correct.
How you doing, Shy?
Oh man, better than I was before. She don't put it like that. That's for me to know, and for y'all to know, and for them not to know.
I got you. Welcome back to the show. So today we're talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Some background info before we get into this. The movie has a ensemble cast: Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, Jonathan Majors, featuring a new Cassie Lang and Kathyrn Newton. She was in the movie Freaky. It was like a horror version of Freaky Friday with Vince Vaughn. I actually enjoyed that movie. Bill Murray appears in this movie as well. Katy M. O'Brien from Z Nation, Black Lightning, Westworld, and The Walking Dead. And then William Jackson Harper from Midsommar and The Good Place. Finally, I gotta mention the homie Randall Park made a nice cameo, which was necessary. I needed that for the Ant-Man continuity. The movie is directed by Peyton Reed. This is the second MCU trilogy that was directed completely by one director. Spider-Man is the other one. This one was written, writing credits were given to Jack Kirby, of course, and then it was written by Jeff Loveness of Rick and Morty fame. And this is the first Ant-Man movie where Paul Rudd did not participate in the writing of the script. I want all of these things to be kept in mind as we get into this. Quick synopsis of the movie. Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne, along with Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, explore the quantum realm where they interact with strange creatures and embark on an adventure that goes beyond the limits of what they thought was possible. I think that's a pretty solid description, if I do say so myself. First thing I have to ask before we get into this is, what expectations did you have for this movie, if any? You know, myself, I actually successfully avoided any spoilers, any trailers, everything. I avoided it all somehow. I don't know how. But did you have any expectations for this movie coming in, Reese?
I did have expectations for this movie. I tried not to, but after Phase 4, I feel like I was owed some expectations. Especially the way they pitched this, the way they talked about it. I expected this to have huge implications on the MCU going forward, especially considering the fact that it was introducing us, so to speak. If you put Loki aside, because that wasn't necessarily Kang, it's introducing us to Kang, who was supposed to be the big bad for Phase 5 going forward. So that's a huge first impression. This was potentially the final film in the Ant-Man trilogy. We don't know if we're gonna get a fourth one. Only one other character has gotten a fourth one outside of a trilogy so far. So yeah, I did have expectations for this. Whether they were met remains to be talked about. Okay.
Did you have any expectations for this one?
2 words. It's Ant-Man. Those were my expectations. I was like, those movies are literally like, okay, they're meant to make you laugh and to entertain. Those were my only expectations. Yes, I'm a big fan of Kang, but again, I wasn't expecting too much too soon. And like Reese said, Kevin, you owe us, and you owe us big. That's all I'm gonna say about. And everybody know who I mean when I say Kevin. I have like a not so secret beef with that man.
Okay, I will say, as far as expectations, I did have, because as you mentioned, it is Ant-Man. One of my favorite. Ant-Man had actually become my favorite. I guess remaining person of the people of that original group. As far as everybody that's gone, if we eliminate that group, Ant-Man was my favorite carryover that was left over. And one of my favorite things about the movies is the relationship he had with his daughter. That was, I felt, one of the things, it gives the movie heart that some of those movies don't necessarily have. And it makes his character relatable in a, he's a dad who made some mistakes and was trying to get his life back on track. Like that's a real story. You know what I mean? So that's, seeing that carry over as she gets older was what I was looking for, main thing. And then of course I wanted to see how formidable they made Kang. And as Reese said, we will get into whether or not they accomplished these things. Before we get deeper into this, we'll get into some spoilers here in a minute. I'm not going to ask for a rating straight up. I'm going to ask trash, mid, or above mid. Where would you go for this movie?
Mid.
Shot?
Honestly, yeah, it was mid. But not because of anything too specific. It's just that it left a lot of meat on the bone. Let's just put it that way.
It was mid.
Would you say it's the worst Ant-Man movie?
No, hell no.
Nope.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is garbage.
I hated that movie. The fact that
the
fact that I had to watch it 2 or 3 times to get through it was when I knew. Because I went to the theaters and I think I like dozed off on it. So when it was on Disney Plus, I watched it and I had to cut it up in order to finish it. The
Ant-Man
first one,
Wasp, is in my bottom 5.
Oh man,
this ain't close to my bottom 5.
Okay,
in the slightest.
I think that's
I agree with Reese on that.
I think that's a good barometer for people's expectations. Let's get into the conversation about this movie. So, as I mentioned, one of my favorite things about the Ant-Man movies was the relationship with him and his daughter. I think 4 different actresses have played his daughter at this point. Might be 3.
4.
Might be 3.
3. The same little girl played her in the first and second one. Someone different played her in Endgame, and Kathyrn Newton played her here.
Yeah, I knew they had to age her up faster than that little girl was growing up. So it made sense to have a new actress for the Avengers movie. They didn't have to do it here. And I mentioned I like Kathyrn Newton in Freaky, but I did not like her in this movie, keeping it 100. I ain't even gonna hold back.
Yeah, Cassie wasn't.
It felt like she was in a different room during every single scene she was in. Like they were not looking at each other, talking to each other. She was just there.
Their entire relationship bothered me.
Yeah, she was treating him like he had just recently got out the clink. I'm like, man, he in the Avengers.
First of all, little ass girl, I saved the fucking world. If it wasn't for
Boom.
me, your daddy wouldn't even be. If it wasn't for me and that rat, your daddy wouldn't even be around right now. You wouldn't even be around right now. That's first of all. Second of all, you didn't watch the trailers for this movie. You know I did. The way they described it in the trailers, this was a completely different movie. In the trailers, they made it seem like in the trailers, they made it seem like the deal between him and Kang was going to be, hey, I can send you back in time and you can get that time back you lost with your daughter in those years you were gone.
It made it seem like that was the main.
Yeah, that was Scott.
I want you to watch the trailer now that you've seen the movie and tell me what you would have thought going into it, what it would have been. Because they pitched it as
was Scott and him.
They pitched it as like Scott is messed up or conflicted because he lost time with his daughter. And they did touch on that a bit in this, like, oh, he doesn't know his daughter. He doesn't know what's going on with her. But they didn't even dive into it really. And even in the trailer, they showed the thing, oh, we had a deal. And I'm thinking, all right, he's going to send him back in time so he can spend that time with his young daughter that he missed. But they didn't dive into that at all. Like,
again, they made it seem like it was a conflict between Scott and Kang, and that's not who the conflict was with.
Do you know if
it was Janet and Kang?
Was
and then it was so pissed. I was so pissed when I was like, wait, what? This is between these two characters, not the characters they showed in the trailer. So yeah, they manipulated us.
I'm gonna play this trailer. Let me know if it's the right trailer, if you can hear it, first of all.
I ask myself a lot of questions. Scott, you're an ex-cop.
Dane got picked first.
How are you an Avenger?
Dollar.
That doesn't make sense. But everywhere I go, people tell me the same thing. Thank you, Spider-Man.
People still need help, Dad. That's
Is this the right trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
why we made this. It's like a satellite for deep space, but quantum.
Wait a minute. You're sending a signal down to the quantum realm. Turn it off. Now.
Secret universe beneath ours. What are you so afraid of? There's something I never told you.
This place. It isn't what you think. Get you home. Give you more time. If you help me. So, what's it gonna be? Ant-Man.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a different movie.
And I'm thinking about it. Like, let's say he gets there quickly, and it becomes like an Ant-Man having a debate whether or not he wants to go back in time, or he realizes that it's going to cause problems or whatever.
That's a better movie.
So two parts of this kind of make me a little bit upset. The first part is So first of all, Emma Furman, she was the girl that played Cassie in the Avengers movie. Was it Endgame?
Yeah.
She said she didn't know she was recast until the day they released it on like the media day thing.
Damn.
Ooh.
She didn't realize she was recast.
That's worse than the old boy who found that he was getting traded via FaceTime.
Right. Like, that's wild. And she was like, I'm thankful for the time I had. I'm thankful for the opportunity. But yeah, she didn't say anything like crazy, but she was shocked to find out she was recast initially. She's handled it professionally. I thought she was great in the movie, but they allegedly, and I didn't follow up on this, but someone said they wanted someone that was more bankable, basically. Like they wanted someone who's carried a movie before, likely because they have plans for her in the future. But this Kathyrn did not bring it home for me. The connection was not there. The way that little girl loved him in the early movies and how desperate she was to see him when he came back in Endgame, this is not the same girl at all. Like, it's not only a different person playing the role, the personality jump does not make sense. Like, she could not give a shit less about him in this movie from in the early parts. She's doing whatever she wants. She's hiding stuff from him. That's not the same father-daughter relationship. And it would not change that dramatically after the results of Endgame. It would have showed up in Endgame, in my opinion. If she was getting away from him.
What I will say to that is we don't know how much time has passed between now and Endgame.
She's still supposed to be a teenager.
Yeah, but we don't know how much time they spent together. Maybe they've spent time together to where it's like, all right, I've gotten past the, oh my God, I can't believe you're back phase, which is possible.
That's fine.
Which is kind of how they tried to word it in the movie, but it still came off mad weak.
I just didn't feel they had no chemistry at all.
I don't think they had chemistry, no.
And
yeah, even when he was trying to show her how to use the suit, it still was like, it's like that. I was like, this is supposed to be your father, right? It seemed like that was just like some random kid he found on the street. And
yeah,
threw a suit on him.
It feels like Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. Like,
yes,
yeah,
perfect analogy for that. Yes. Like, I'm just gonna teach this kid.
Like, I really don't like that you're following me around, but fine.
The fact that Leon, the professional, and Natalie Portman have better chemistry than them two. Terms of like apprentice and yeah.
And that hurt the movie for me because, like I said, that's one of the main things I go to Ant-Man for. And I could, if they made it feel more natural, I could have dealt with it. But Kathyrn Newton, I just think she's a comedian. She's a comic actress. Like, she's funny, and she was too funny. Like, they went from a very serious person. It's like having Denzel play a character and then replacing Denzel with Martin.
Well, what do you mean they had a very serious person play? What do you mean? Because
the girl that played
it can't be Denzel and Don Cheadle.
Something like Emma Furman.
I don't think that's fair.
I just don't think Kathyrn could not pull off the emotional depth that I think the character. She didn't have the range. I felt like every time I looked at her, she looked funny. Like, I didn't.
She read the script.
I say that's not a fair comparison because the girl who played her in Endgame literally had 2 scenes. And she had 1 speaking line, like
the facial emotion.
That's it. That's all. And she had to express facial emotion in that scene. There was no scene written really in this movie where Kathyrn Newton had to have facial emotion. I wouldn't say they jumped from serious to funny. Like, it's Ant-Man. She's going to have to be funny. It's a funny movie. It's a comedy.
I don't mean her actual actions. I just mean, I look at her and I can't take her seriously.
Zero death.
Isn't Emma Furman the orphan?
In real life?
The orphan.
I don't think so.
No, that's Isabel Furman. Something like that. Sorry.
I was like, hold up, what?
I was like, nah, bro. That's not
I'm gonna see if what she's actually been in now that we brought her up several times. Not a lot. I'm looking. She did one episode of Station 19, one episode of Chicago Fire. She just hasn't been in a lot of stuff, and that's why she lost the job, which I think is stupid, in my opinion.
Maybe the plan wasn't at the time, which wouldn't fucking surprise me at this point with Marvel, for her to have a big role in the next movie. And then they were like, oh, we need somebody, with some more experience type thing.
They're going to do a Young Avengers thing. I think that's what this is about. They wanted somebody with a little bit more cachet, if you will, that they could push into this Young Avengers thing and actually bring an audience with them. Elizabeth Furman's not bringing an audience with her, but Kathyrn Newton will.
And that's the only thing that actually did blow my skirt up a little bit, was the fact that they're bringing these young people in for the Young Avengers, because I'm looking more forward to that, unless they screw that up too, than anything else.
All right, so far this is the first chink in the armor for me, because we knew Cassie, and this is not the Cassie we knew, and not in the sense that they recast her. It's just, and I get kids grow up, kids change, but I wasn't feeling it. I didn't feel a single moment she had in this movie. They tried to make her like she was a revolutionary, woke kid or whatever, and I didn't buy it.
Again, I'll say that's unfair because she was a child. No revolutionary is going to be a child. And you also have to think about the generation we're in. Every goddamn teenager nowadays want to feel like they're a goddamn revolutionary. One thing I will say, they never once hinted while she was a child that she will be some kind of fucking tech genius where she can create a signal to the quantum realm in a basement.
Exactly. Your grandparents just teaching you all of this in the span of a couple years, pretty much.
Grandpa,
all these kids got to be geniuses.
Grandpa and grandma had no idea. Shit, they
teaching her about the quantum.
Now, grandpa was helping.
I'm saying grandpa was helping her, but grandma had no idea.
I didn't know what she was doing, in terms of making that signal. But
I'm gonna get to her.
We're just teaching her.
You
got to get on Janet too. I'll put it. Look. I'll give a synopsis for Janet.
There's a huge
Michelle Pfeiffer has done this to me in 2 movies, Elvira, and this.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, Michelle Pfeiffer was looking kind of fine in this movie, bro.
Reese, I'm not gonna do it with you today. I was about to say, you know what? Yeah, bro.
I'm not mad at Michelle Pfeiffer, but I am mad.
Again, Elvira and her, I said, these problematic men that you keep attracted.
So let's get into it. We can move on from Cassie Lang. Kathyrn Newton was a miss for me in this one. I hate to say it. I wasn't buying it. As far as characters for the Young Avengers that I'm attached to, you go back to some of these reviews we've done, I've always brought her up, Cassie Lang, as a character I was looking forward to seeing in these movies. I couldn't care less about this version of Cassie Lang. I'm out.
Don't give a shit.
They have only hit with America so far?
America?
I would say Miss Marvel is probably my favorite right now.
Miss Marvel and Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop.
I like Kate Bishop.
I don't give a flying fuck about America Chavez. I said that.
I like America Chavez.
I know you said when we did the review. I said you could take her out that movie and it wouldn't make a difference for me.
Part of the Young Avengers, she's okay.
I don't give a shit.
She had a tough job in that movie. I'll say that.
Look, who they ruined for me was Speed and Wicked. They ruined that for me.
Fuck them little kids, man. Fuck them
ruined that for me. Kids. And those are 2 of my favorites. So that's what made it worse.
They ruined ice cream for me.
They did everything. Yeah, all of that. They ruined everything.
Let's talk about Janet, man.
All right, let's get into Janet. So again, we mentioned for the signal thing, you heard it in the trailer. Cassie and Hank Pym somehow has enough alone time to create a signal that they could send to the quantum realm. Why? Who knows? Who knows why they thought this was a good idea that they should be doing? And somehow Janet had no idea this was occurring. And now the time that she finds out and Ant-Man finds out, everybody finds out now that grandpa and granddaughter ain't even a real, how she have more chemistry with, you know what? I'm getting off track. She had more chemistry with the grandparents than she had with her dad, and that's goofy to me because they ain't
Correctamundo. That
even blood.
scene where they were in the dining room was way better than any interaction she had with Paul Rudd.
They not even blood. Like, what we doing? Anyway.
When did she even start calling them grandpa and grandma? Like,
like
they were gone. They got blipped. They were gone. Like,
it ain't like you spent time with them when he wasn't around. So what do we?
All I'm saying
But
is,
she kept acting like she had this big connection with them.
all I'm saying is, if I'm a kid and I'm spending time with my parents, significant others' parents, I'm not calling them grandma and grandpa within 2 years.
Hell no.
You are Mr. and Mrs. Pym.
Like she ain't. I could see if she had no grandparents on the other side, but I don't think that's the case.
We didn't even see the mom in this movie. I mean, I guess we didn't need to.
We didn't need to. They mentioned her, but yeah, we didn't even see her mom. It just, like I said, it didn't work for me. But let's get to Janet. So Janet, she finds out about this thing, and then I guess, did we even get an explanation for how they got sucked in there? Because it didn't seem like Kang did it, or he would have brought them to him, would he not? Like,
I think he did.
Was he supposed to have done it?
I think he was somehow responsible.
Okay, so anyway,
just for getting them there.
They get pulled in, and now Janet's like, I should have told y'all this before.
Because pretty much what happened, Cassie sent out the signal, and then she was like, turn it off, but it was already too late. They had already found him.
So they got pulled in, they got separated, blah, 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 whatever. You got to create some type of tension with or you got to separate them so they can have individual journeys, whatever. How do y'all feel about Janet? For some reason, just not telling anything. I have my personal thoughts, but I want to see how y'all felt first about Janet not mentioning a thing about what occurred while she was down there. I think we accepted it initially because we assumed she was traumatized by having been down there for 30 years, because I had no frame of reference for what possibly could have happened.
Shard, may I?
Go right ahead, bro.
Janet Van Dyne, Janet Pym, whatever the fuck she's calling herself, is a huge issue for me in this movie for two reasons. And I'll get to the last reason, which is the biggest reason. But first, they go to the quantum realm and they're constantly asking her, what aren't you telling us? Why didn't you tell us about this? What happened down here? Why are you acting like this? And she's just, and I hate when TV shows and movies do this. She said the key words, I'm trying to protect you. You can protect me by telling me what's going on.
What are you protecting me from?
What are you protecting me from? Who are you afraid of? What happened while you were down there? Why didn't you tell us what happened while you were down there?
Turn it off.
You just said turn it off. If you'd have told us what happened while you was down here, we'd have never created it in the first place.
Right.
That's the biggest issue. The issue that she doesn't want to go back to the quantum realm, and she's afraid of the quantum realm, and she's afraid of what's in the quantum realm, which brings in the biggest plot hole in this movie. In the mid-credit scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp, they were collectively, as a group, on a roof, sending Scott into the quantum realm to retrieve energy for ghosts. She was a part of this. She was okay with this. She was okay with opening a portal to the quantum realm. She was there for this. She was present. Why all of a sudden is she afraid of them even sending a signal, opening a portal, anything of the quantum realm?
So I did see one person have an explanation for this. Apparently there's two quantum realms. One is the one where she was stuck, and one is where they sent Scott. And the one where they sent Scott, I don't
so sick of
anything is supposed to be there. Like,
okay,
they sent him to the safe quantum realm.
That's fair, I guess.
I don't know nothing about this from the comics or nothing.
Braun drafted Kyrie.
I see that. We'll see how.
I accidentally leaned on the unmute, and I was like, "Ooh!"
I saw. Wait, did he just draft two in a row, or did I miss who Giannis picked?
I think you missed who Giannis picked.
Okay. But that was how it was explained to me. Either way, it feels questionable. Because how do they control that if they don't allegedly understand the quantum realm like that?
I guess that makes sense.
Didn't they have like a time limit on how long he could be down there?
I'm not sure. I don't remember that part.
Maybe it was like a situation where she thought he couldn't get detected if he wasn't down there long enough. I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. But my first point still stands. She was acting mad weird.
I agree. And that puts me,
like
you said, I hate when movies and shows do that as well, where it's like, if you just answer the question right now,
Ron drafted Luka.
Probably won't happen.
Ron drafted Luka.
I'm tired. I'm tired. Because why did he get on backcourt like that? That's nasty work.
What is Giannis doing?
Giannis drafted Ja and Joe. No, Ja and who?
Embiid.
No, he didn't draft Embiid. Embiid is on Team LeBron.
Yeah, like
he better draft Laurie. He gonna draft Joe?
Yeah, he got Tatum and Ja.
Okay. Why he drafted them? Never mind. I think they got mad at him for drafting the Europeans last time, so he trying to mix it up. Yeah, that's what he's doing. This feels racial all of a sudden.
Oh my God. Keep going.
Yeah.
I already don't like Team LeBron. He literally got all the
I'm about to say I'm Team Giannis because he got
everybody.
Yeah, Team LeBron's gonna win again.
Obviously.
Putting my money on this dude.
Giannis won a challenge. That's what that is. Giannis won a challenge. So he let LeBron
He basically said, just give me everybody who's on that MVP ladder.
I gotta hear what they say for Laurie. Give me a moment.
All right, come on, we getting distracted. We definitely getting distracted.
I gotta hear what they say to marketing real quick.
Him taking the Mavs backcourt I said, bro, you trying to get them both to LA? It's just sick work.
Whatever, man. All right. I don't know what's going on the rest of this crap, but
this is more scripted than like wrestling right here.
You think they got the script in their hands? That's what that is?
This is, man.
All right, so she didn't tell them. They end up in the thing. As far as this world that we get put into, it gives us context for how she survived down there, right?
Yeah.
So that part of it, while there are some questionable things, the idea of her surviving for 30 years now makes sense if there's civilization and whatnot down there. We mentioned it, how it was still annoying, but overall, the idea of there being civilization down there and her making connections and that works for me personally. That I was fine with that. Any other thoughts there?
Nah, I mean, it was cool. It was nice world building. It was giving us a nice story, like you said, on how she survived down there. I'm okay with that part. It's just shit that she did that annoyed me. But outside of that, using her basically as the character to help build the lore around that world was a smart move.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't dive as much into the quantum realm as they could have, but still.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I'm glad they used Janet as well. It was just, I wish you would explain this before everybody pretty much got sucked into this, and at least some foreshadowing would have helped in this situation. Not just, you did what? Oh, did I do something wrong? Yeah, but I can't tell you why it's wrong. What?
It's like, you know what they about to face and you still not helping them. That was the part that was annoying. Like, you still not giving us no hints about how bad this could be.
My man's Michael Douglas. He played his role. He looked at her like, so why can't she do this? We worked on this. Why can't she do it? I can't tell you either. You with me, bruh. Like,
Now, when we look at this world, the first thing that struck me, Star Wars. If you know me, you know I'm not a Star Wars person.
and that sucks for you.
I have I have limits as far as sci-fi goes. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy this movie. As soon as I started seeing these creatures and stuff, I was like, oh man.
Watching this, I was like, this is like, and I don't mean this in a bad way. This is like those old Star Wars ripoffs that people tried to make back in the day. Like it gives that vibe, like the science fiction vibe, that mixed with like some Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Minus
But they
the
spared
Crystal.
you because instead of you having to translate or read subtitles the whole movie, they just went ahead and gave them some quote unquote liquid that made them all
Which made no
understand and
sense.
speak language. Yeah, because they all spoke different. Yeah.
Right.
It was the Babel juice, that Tower of Babel juice. It just makes language. It translates everything. After they gave him the Babel juice, it worked for me a little bit more. Like as long as everybody was making sense, I wasn't hearing bleep blorp and
Like in Star Wars and shit.
Yeah, I could work with it after that. So
Klingon from Star Trek.
Or like they could have done the thing where Janet was the only one that could understand them because she like learned the languages while she was down there. So
But that would have fucked it up because Janet wasn't with Scott and Cassie. So.
exactly, like that would have got real annoying real fast. So let's get into the big bad, if you will, Kang. So we learn why Janet didn't want to share what she was doing for two reasons. First of all, Bill Murray apparently was getting
Clapping them cheeks.
Yeah, and Janet was busting it down for.
I'm sorry, what?
It was for Bill Murray. What about Bob? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, shout out to Hank for being a mature man and realizing his wife was down there for like decades.
Then he hit that mug. You know, I was
he ain't
busy
get
too.
salty that she was smashing somebody up because he was hitting something else too.
He said I was busy too. You know what I'm saying?
I think that was actually
alone.
a reference to a character in the comics that he used to.
Probably.
They are not mistaken.
Probably.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I knew Shaw would know.
You know,
but,
it's comic books.
But yeah, I thought that scene was handled well. It could have been the stereotypical guy gets super upset thing, but he was like, you know what, I got it in too, and she didn't seem bothered by that either. So they seem to have a very mature relationship, which was cool. But then we also find out that she almost helped Kang escape until she realized what Kang was. And she did the little last minute destruction of the thing with the PIM particles. And that's the part I think that makes me really, really upset that she wouldn't tell them, hey, there's this dude in the quantum realm that's going to be stuck there as long as he don't get no PIM particles. Why would you not tell that to the other people with the PIM particles? That's all she had to say. She had to get into no details about it. Just, hey, be careful about going into the quantum realm or dabbling with the quantum realm because there's this terrible, horrible, scary world destroyer, timeline destroyer, not just world, timeline. He's destroying the entire timeline. And he's stuck down there unless he gets some PIM particles. That's all she had to say. Now, would they have gotten curious? Maybe, but that's on them. You at least gave them the opportunity to make the decision to make sure this man didn't get no PIM particles. But she didn't do that. We get the Kang thing. Now, I assume both of y'all watched Loki. I know you did, Reese. Shad, I assume you watched Loki, the show?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So we were introduced to Kang and Loki as far as MCU goes. He has the whole 20-minute breakdown of who he is, what he is, why he is. We got that in that show. But we know that not everybody watches the shows. So this movie is acting as an introduction to Kang for those people. People that had watched the show had a little bit more context, could fill in the blanks. Do you think they did enough introducing Kang in this movie for people that did not watch the show?
Yes, absolutely. I think someone could not watch Loki at all and still get the gist of Kang and his purpose and what he is.
But that's how they pretty much did 4 and 5, making some of the shows a waste. But if you love Marvel, you watch them anyway.
Yeah, they did his backstory. It was nice seeing his backstory with Janet, then building that friendship, because even though he's a menacing person, I think he really did cherish the friendship they had built there until she betrayed him. You could tell, like, just Jesus Christ, Jonathan Majors is fucking amazing. Jonathan Majors' facial expressions just throughout this fucking movie, just like when she touched the core and he looked over and he could just tell that she was saying things, and he's just like, shit, here we go.
Like when you walk in the room and your girl got your phone in her hand and you know she saw that DM.
Facts.
But even if you didn't respond to it, you know she saw it and you know you ain't gonna be able to get past it. That's what it was. I'm sure that's what he channeled when he got into that zone for that. But Jonathan Majors was my first Best Supporting Actor winner for the Bibbs Corner Awards for Last Black Man in San Francisco. So I always enjoy when an actor I knew before it became a household name like starts to blow up. So that's exciting to me. But he killed it. I think, as far as I'm concerned, watching Loki would have helped, but I do think they did enough in this movie, especially in the post credits where you see all the different kings. I will say in the actual movie, he alludes to the idea that someone set him down there, but he didn't make it clear that it's other versions of him, I don't think, if I recall correctly.
I think he kind of did because he said he was going to get revenge on them.
But it could have been anybody.
It could be. I think, well, maybe it's just me. I knew he was talking about the Council of Kangs.
We knew that.
Yeah, we knew that. He said they were afraid of him, but I don't think in the movie he revealed that there were different versions of him. If he did, I don't remember.
He did. Remember?
He did.
That's why he kept talking about time and different universes. He was pretty much saying that he wasn't the only one.
But did he make it clear that
it was direct?
Other versions of him specifically? Like, because it could be just other people out there from different timelines.
That's what I'm saying. Did he make it direct? No.
I think someone did ask him what makes you different from the others or something like that.
I thought that was in Loki.
So I said it wasn't direct.
No, yeah. I think that was in this.
That was in it.
That was in a conversation between Janet. Yeah,
it wasn't. Yeah, like I said, it just wasn't direct.
I don't think he told anybody. Like at the end of this movie, Ant-Man doesn't fully grasp what he just encountered.
No, he never.
That's why he was like, "Is it over?
Yeah,
is it really over?"
Like all
what did he mean?
Says to him is that
he told him that too.
There will be others coming, or that there will be something worse. He never told him there were more of him.
Right. And I like that they did it that way. Because, again, we know, and people who watch the show know, but people who watch the movie, this is an introduction to them of Kang, and he's saying a lot of stuff that's alluding to ominous possibilities, but he's not being very clear about it. Ant-Man doesn't fully understand what the hell he's talking about, and I don't think a lot of the audience goers were going to understand as well. And then it's revealed then in the post-credit scene what he was talking about. Yeah. When we see the like you said, the Council of Kangs, and that was cool to me. And I think it sets up a interesting thing for the next Avengers movie. I think that I saw some complaints, and y'all probably saw this too, I saw some person say, Marvel needs to stop wasting these villains. Gore, we didn't get to see him. We only got to see him kill like one guy or two guys. We didn't get to see how dangerous he was before he was killed off. And now they're doing the same thing with Kang. And I'm like, this wasn't supposed to be the Kang, the final Kang. Like, the idea of Kang is that there are multiple versions of Kang, and each one could be that one.
Okay. To answer Reese's question from earlier, The name was escaping me, and I was like, okay, it was Tigra. That's who Hank Pym
Dated
was messing
Tigra?
with. Yes.
And
That's
what?
what?
Yeah, like in the comic books. Yeah.
How did?
Him?
Because remember, Hank Pym, remember, he was married before Janet. And then he dated Tigra as well.
But what is Tiger's real name?
I cannot remember right now.
No, he said a woman's real name in that scene.
Yeah, he did.
Whose name sounded familiar.
Ah.
We'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
Keep
the
digging.
Kang thing,
Investigative journalism.
you're right
Look,
as far
now
as
I'm
the
about to
Kang
sit here.
thing goes, as far as like Kang Prime. I think Kang Prime, since we're already on post-credit scenes, might be the one we saw in the very last.
Which the main one that was talking in the
No, the one that we saw in basically a clip of Loki.
Frederick Douglass.
Basically. I think that might be Kang Prime. I'm not gonna lie, I get why I didn't mind the post-credit scene. I actually liked it because it's a return to form of old MCU, where this isn't just some contained story bullshit, and it's not just a mid-credit scene setting up the next sequel. It's a mid-credit scene setting up the MCU moving forward. Like, this is a big thing. Like a lot of people were saying, oh man, I think the mid-credit scene from Shang-Chi is going to play into Kang, and it still might, but we haven't seen that yet. As far as
The Kang Dynasty is still coming, so yeah,
Kang Dynasty is still coming. A lot of people didn't like this mid-credit scene because they said it looked kind of goofy, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't blame them. A lot of them motherfuckers.
The sound effects were like when they were doing all
and
that,
they was like, ooh, 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 ooh.
And I was like, is he part in Baku too? Like, what's going on?
I was like, a little bit of it was goofy. But I'm not gonna lie, I wish they did not kill the Kang in this. Like,
I thought they were just gonna trap him down there again.
yeah,
But humorously, he was the quote unquote weakest one out of all of them.
That bothered me.
What?
I wanted him to be like the one. He was a bit menacing, but it's Jonathan Majors, so I trust him to bring different performances to each of these Kangs. I just don't want it to be like, oh, here's a Kang. Nope. Here's a Kang.
He showed his versatility when they were having that dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they do with this Kang situation. And Jonathan Majors was a brilliant casting decision because of his range, his ability to tap into multiple. Like, he's having conversations with himself as three different characters at the end of the movie in the post-credit scene. And each one could be a different level of dangerous. I'm excited about that. Linda Carter is who they believe was referenced.
Carter.
Not the Wonder Woman actress, but Linda
okay.
Carter. It was a character that was created in 1961.
Yes. You're absolutely correct.
That's the name he said. Yeah, but in the comic
she was
book,
inspired by the Night Nurse character. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, but I was like, in the comics it was Tigra, but yeah, he did say Linda in the movie. So I was very confused by that, but I was like, no, you had a wife before this, and then you were Janet. And I know you mess around with another character, but I didn't know they were just gonna put some random chick out there. So who knows where she's about to fall into this?
May have just been a throwaway line. I had to hold on. I'm not reading that. All right. So we got the Kangs, we got the introductions, we got the complaints. Are there any complaints that you saw about this movie that you either agree with or disagree with?
I'll let y'all go first.
I read a little bit of Rotten Tomatoes, and I was just like, man, it's like I told you off mic. What did they expect? It's a one is a Marvel movie, two is an Ant-Man movie.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yes, there was plot holes everywhere. There was a lot of meat left on the bone, but for you to sit here and say you weren't at least fully entertained walking out of here, ridiculous.
Yeah, The movie entertained me. The movie was not bad, like by any means. It just didn't blow me away. It was just okay. The first Ant-Man movie is much better than this one, in my opinion, and the second one is much worse. But a lot of people, yeah, like Shaw was saying, I don't know if people were expecting a different thing from Ant-Man just because of the trailers. Like, it's still an Ant-Man movie. There's still going to be comedy. Not gonna lie, I miss Luis a lot in this. I wish he was in the fucking quantum realm. But I just feel like this movie missed some opportunities, especially with Cassie and Scott. Obviously, it's an Ant-Man comedy movie and it's the MCU, so there's going to be times where comedy is inserted where it doesn't need to be in a serious moment.
Yeah, like when they both got big and then when they shrunk, and she was talking about I have this weird taste for lime.
Well, that was a callback to Civil War.
When he asked, does anyone have any orange slices?
Orange slices, yeah.
Yeah, which I understood, but I still was just like, it's a battle going on. It's like, what's going on here? Like, y'all getting shot at as we speak.
The people, the revolutionaries, the rebellers, we did not spend nearly enough time with them. Like,
weak backstories.
When Kang started clapping them, I did not care. Like,
no, when he busted open the battery head dude, I felt
boom. And you're just like, okay, who else?
I was just like,
just keep going.
All right. Like,
that hurt me.
We did not spend any time with these guys. Like, I just
and then to find out like a good chunk of them were in captivity.
The joke where the dude could read minds, it didn't hit for me. Like,
didn't laugh. Not once.
Did not laugh.
Like, I'm like, okay, so what is he saying?
There were just moments here where I was like, all right, starting to get bored. Like, what's going on? MODOK looked fucking ridiculous. And
gotta talk about MODOK. I mean, he's MODOK. What are you supposed to do?
Hold up. You ain't let me finish. A lot of people are complaining, like, they don't like how they use MODOK. And I heard some people compare it to how they use Taskmaster and Black Widow. I completely disagree.
Okay.
Because MODOK's ridiculous and MODOK cannot be taken seriously on the big screen. Like, you cannot adapt MODOK to live action and expect it to be a serious character. Now, if MODOK, the character, always looked how he did when he had that armor down, that would be fucking amazing. Like, I could take that character seriously.
They should have left that. Like, that would have been fire.
That would have been fire. But Darren Cross's big baby head, like, and then they showed how he became MODOK and they showed his little baby ass and baby feet. Like,
that made me laugh. I go hold you.
I was just like, yo, what is this? But they closed
the comic book nerd in me was pissed at MODOK because I'm like, he's semi-menacing.
I wish they saved MODOK as a Miss Marvel villain.
Let me tell you, I can give you.
And that's kind of because of the Avengers game as well, but still.
I can give you the whole history of them trying to get MODOK in these movies. I wrote it down.
Run it down.
They've been trying to get MODOK on the big screen since 1997.
The fuck?
The original Iron Man script, MODOK was the villain.
Ew.
1997, they sat down and said, we're going to make an Iron Man movie with MODOK as the villain. The script was clearly rewritten and they got MODOK up out of there. That was 1997. The next time he was almost in the big screen or on the screen, if you will, was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5. They were going to bring him in.
Oh my God, that would have been bad. I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but on television?
I could not.
On television? That would have been bad.
And that would have probably been like a 2-part episode.
That would have got the show canceled.
Like I said, that would have been probably like those last two would have been the last two.
I like up until he was on the screen, I didn't know how they could have put him on screen. I found out he was going to be in this movie right before I walked into the movie because I just so happened to check the cast list and I saw old buddy's name beside MODOK. I was like, huh? And I was like, whatever, I'm gonna just see it. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., MODOK. I probably would have never watched that show again.
I'm telling you, it did something corny. They would have like just showed them being together, like being put together.
Well, hey, they pulled off Ghost Rider. So
Ghost Rider was fire. But I can't imagine
Yeah, it was.
what I was about to.
I will say though, Corey Stoll did a fantastic job making this character entertaining. Like
Yeah,
the death scene where he was like, "Scott, you were always like a brother to me."
To me, he said, "I was."
he was like, "I'm an Avenger now."
I was.
And I'm just like, "What?"
He said,
I died in Avenger.
At least I died in Avenger. Yeah, you did.
Like, bro, Ant-Man ain't even got the clout to appoint motherfuckers Avengers. Like, what we
No, speaking of that, oh, that was like another one of my favorite lines. Speaking of Avengers, I thought you were Thor. Yeah, I can see how you could get that. Similar builds.
Similar body types, you know.
Similar body types. Get it all the time.
I ain't done.
I like that they alluded to the fact that Kang killed the Avengers before, but
that was good. I think that was good for sure. The next time he almost made an appearance, so that would have been 2013 in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 2014.
I feel like it would have been in like a Captain America movie.
Winter Soldier was when they were going to bring him in.
That would not have been good for that.
They were going to make Peter Dinklage the character.
Okay, that would have been fucking amazing. Like, you don't got to put him in a suit. He's already little.
Right.
I don't like you, bro.
Then again, they probably couldn't do that because Peter Dinklage was in X-Men Days of Future Past around that year.
Was that 2014?
I think that was 2014.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting.
So that was the next time. And then at the last second, they decided to go with who did they switch him out for?
Robert Redford.
Robert Redford's character, Alexander Pierce.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they decided to go with Alexander Pierce instead. Then they almost put him in Infinity War.
For why?
I don't know what he's supposed to do in Infinity.
What is their fetish with MODOK?
They made the animated show, which I got through like half of. It was way too much. It was way too much for me.
I didn't watch it.
I think, who was it? What's the little short comedian dude that's like in every Marvel property? Patton Oswalt. I think.
Oh, okay. Love Patton Oswalt.
I think he did the voice. And then Keith David was actually supposed to play him in the New Warriors show.
The new what?
New Warriors, which that got canceled.
Yeah.
Keith David.
Yes.
David.
So MODOK would have been a menacing figure. Like I said, it would have been like the comic books. Like this version is.
You know who Keith David is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I said it like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it would have been like the comic books a little bit more. But you everybody else would have been like, what? And I'm like, hey.
Did that show come out?
Little character. Warriors came. No, I don't think Warriors came out.
It says one episode. Yeah, they ordered a pilot and said, never mind.
But yeah, MODOK didn't ruin the movie for me. To be honest, if you took MODOK out of this movie, it doesn't change anything. But
I hated we brought up Cassie earlier. I hated their interaction as well.
MODOK and Cassie?
Yeah, I hated that part. Because it was stale. Like, I just sat there like, okay, is this supposed to be funny? Is she teaching him a life lesson here? Why is she telling him not to be a dick? Like, why is this happening? He said it again, and it was kind of funny, but it was still like, why was that dialogue happening?
Yeah, I think I just was looking at some of the reviews, and one of the reviews was like every Cassie Lang's dialogue was the worst.
Yeah, it was.
And maybe I shouldn't.
The fact that Reese put his head as I'm gonna look at something real quick. So I brought that part up. He said, "Oh, he talking about Cassie being mid again."
Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on Kathyrn Newton. Maybe it was the writing.
No, dude, she couldn't.
It's both.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a terrible combination.
Yeah.
Poor writing and just poor execution.
So, this is just not an Easter egg, but just another thing. The scars on his face were supposed to symbol the markings on his mask from the comics.
Yeah, I caught that.
And Bill Murray apparently has been trying to be in the MCU for a long time.
I can fucking tell.
And
how he was overacting.
This was a fucking cameo.
And then
He
they
was
didn't see him again after that, right?
just
Never
like,
saw him again.
because he was gone. He had to fade out.
He actually asked Kathyrn Newton if he could be in his movie, like if she was
He-
cool with being in his movie. I don't.
Fuck he asked her for?
Talked like this.
I didn't dig into that deeper because it was just a weird
And
thing.
he just kept talking so slow. Like this.
I
You
don't
know,
know.
I've missed you, Janet.
Is that her grandpa, maybe?
Like he was, I was like, this is the first time Bill Murray just wasn't doing it for me in a movie. I'm like, you were better in Zombieland. I was like, how are you better in Zombieland? Doesn't make any sense.
All right. So this movie,
You
what
know, we have a past,
I
Janet.
said this movie is a direct line into Phase 5. I think that the Council of Kings or whatever is setting us up for the future as far as the Avengers movies goes, and then the scene with Loki sets up, I think, probably season 2 of the TV show. It's gonna be a lot of Kang going on.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he sprinkled throughout some other movies as well. I don't know which movies, but
Or like, I feel like he's gonna
Because Kang will return.
like, well, each of the next movies, each group is gonna or person is gonna be fighting a version of Kang. Like, that's what we
I
do.
hope not. That's gonna get old as fuck. But if they at least like allude to him in some post-credit scenes, thing.
Only person that would be happy for that is Jonathan Majors, because that means he's gonna be consistently working.
Facts.
Kathyrn.
I don't think that's something he got to worry about.
And that's another thing. I saw people complaining like
Me and Biv said that, like,
they're wasting Jonathan Majors, blah blah blah. Like, I don't think he's
there's more. There's more coming.
I
And
don't-
then, me and Biv talked about this. Like, he's literally has a movie coming out next month.
And he had one like a couple months ago. Like, people were like, y'all coming out to see Jonathan Majors in this waste of a movie, but y'all didn't support his last movie. It's like, well, maybe we'll support him next month. Like, what? He was in Devotion, was it? Which is
I wanna
on,
say that was the name of the movie.
it's on Paramount Plus now, I think. But it flopped or whatever, and people were complaining. And it's like, the money he's about to get from Marvel, he can make whatever movie he wants after this.
Facts.
So I'm not gonna cry for him, and I think he's gonna be okay. Personally. All right. Before we get out of here, I have to ask. I always ask, and kind of both of you have already mentioned, but one scene that stuck with you from this movie and that you think will stick with people. If y'all are hesitant, I'll drop the first thing that comes to
Yeah,
mind.
drop yours, because I'm gonna have to think about
It's
it.
between one or two for me, but I want to hear yours first. Because if you choose one of mine, I'll pick the other one.
So it's not really a scene, actually. It's just something that happened in this movie that was cool to me. So I mentioned, and we mentioned how there wasn't enough of the side characters, but Katy M. O'Brien as Jentorra, her weapon was fire. Like, she was hitting people and they would just turn into
Disintegrating, yeah.
they would dematerialize. That was fire to me. And the weapon was so dope that I kind of wanted to see more of her, and I don't know if I will.
You probably won't.
The nerd in me was like, man, that sort of looks like Rita Repulsa's staff right there.
It definitely did.
Maybe it was inspired by it.
I don't care if I ever see her character again.
And they were like in captivity, like what, a good chunk of the movie. So yeah,
That was a choice. They didn't have to keep them in captivity most of the movie.
Yeah.
That was a choice that was a reason to not write them shit. But anyway, the scene that stuck with me was the scene when Janet discovered, who he really is, just his dialogue and facial expressions in that movie. I think that's when we really get to see how menacing he really is, because he's like, I can take you home. And she's like, and then what? What will you do then? And he just looks straight like at the camera. He says, when? And I'm just like, this motherfucker is serious. Like, this motherfucker's the real deal. Like, even when he was beating Ant-Man's ass,
That was the one I was going to give. Like,
that was my other one. I was like,
in-
yeah, this is how it should go.
it reminded me of the Hulk versus Thanos scene.
When I was thinking in my head, I was like, I ain't seen an ass whooping like this since Thanos put them paws on Hulk. Like,
to the point he didn't want to be Hulk no more.
he didn't want to be Hulk no more.
That was definitely that would have been my choice for a scene. I definitely wanted to mention old girl because I didn't mention it earlier. I meant to, but yeah, when the end fight where he's like basically telling Ant-Man to stay down, and Ant-Man keeps getting up. I was waiting for him to say I can do this all day. That would piss me off, honestly.
For me, it's silly, but it's true. Basically, his interactions in San Francisco were hilarious. Those are the scenes for me.
I like it,
especially the one where like he's like he got his coffee for free, and he said thank you, Spider-Man. He's like, I'm not Spider-Man, I'm the other. He said, oh, then I was like, he went back later on. Oh, you're the other Bug Man.
And dude made him
Ant-Man. And he made him pay that $12 for the car.
Like, damn, bro, Spider-Man ain't even from San Francisco.
$12.
He said $12. He said $12, huh? But you gave it to me for free yesterday. We thought it was Spider-Man.
Cool.
And then when he went back to his old job for that cake, and
ugly, bro.
Happy birthday, Cassie.
I came out of retirement for this cake. You should have stayed in retirement.
And then he bit it too. He said, "Oh,
that was how the movie ended, ain't it?"
Yes,
because I had forgot about the cake was supposed to be trash until that moment when he bit into it and spat it out.
Yeah,
that was funny.
So yeah, for me, it was like his regular interactions because and
now
we've already talked about kids. Yeah, like the one boy had the backpack and he like gave him a fist bump. Yeah, he got 5 though. I'm sorry.
The Russell Park callback, I don't think I really mentioned it, but
Randall Park.
I don't know why I said Russell. Oh, probably okay.
I'm about to say Westbrook ain't in the All-Star game, motherfucker. So I don't know.
It was something on my phone.
Okay.
Like Randall Park is like you can't forget him because he's literally on TV every week.
The scene from the previous movie where they had a little interaction, and it was like, what do you say? I'll see you later or something like that. And then they had a little back and forth about whether or not they would want to like grab coffee or something like that. That was all improvised in that movie. So
I believe it.
It was cool to see the little in the beginning montage where they're having coffee together. That was cool. Anything else we need to mention?
No, that was it.
I don't think so. I'm afraid to mention anything because we might go on a tangent and I gotta get up out of here. But let's not ignore the fact that Kang got clapped by some ants.
The ants threw him off. He wasn't ready for this.
Motherfucker said, "You talk to bugs."
It was such.
That's how Jonathan Major said it for real. I was like, he made them ants seem weak until like, but Hank had pretty much like, nah, these ants done advanced, bro. These
ants different. That was
the
actually
minute they fell into the quantum zone. I was like, something gonna happen with them ants in this movie. I didn't think it was gonna be that.
And then all he just kept saying, "I told you they were smart."
What just happened in this game? Anyway,
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that was a good payoff because they made the ants smart. It felt like it was for no reason, and then it ended up being a reason. So before we get out of here, I do have to do this real quick. If you don't mind, you can mute if you want, but I got bills to pay. So if you're listening to this podcast, I got a couple partners I want to talk about. I'm just going to do one since I got a guest here. I'm not going to make Reese wait. But if Cinemark is your local theater, you got to get on that Cinemark Rewards plan. Now, they have 2 tiers for the Cinemark Rewards. The first is the Cinemark Movie Fan. It is a free tier. You sign up for it, you pay nothing, but you earn 1 point for every dollar you spend. You can redeem your points for tickets and other rewards. You'll get member access to screenings and advanced tickets. You'll get extra discounts on the Discount Tuesdays with Cinemark, and you'll also get additional exclusive member offers as they arrive. Again, that's the free tier. You don't have to pay anything. Just sign up. If you're going to a Cinemark movie theater and you're not on this reward plan, you're just giving away money. Now, if you're a bigger moviegoer, you might want to consider that Cinemark Movie Club. It's $9.99 a month. You get all of the above. Plus, you get 1 free movie ticket a month. Again, that's paying for itself if you go see one movie. 20% off all concessions. And if you upgrade the premium, by going to a certain number of movies in a year. It'll be up to 25%. or platinum, not premium. 25% off of your concessions. Online fees are waived if you're a Cinemark Movie Club member. So if you're like myself, you like to buy your tickets ahead of time, I got a plan where I have to pay fees to even when I'm purchasing online, even though I'm paying a subscription. With the Cinemark Movie Club, you don't pay any fees for buying online. Any unused ticket credit. So if you're a person, you're like, I don't know if I want to do that $9.99 a month for one free ticket. What if I don't use my free ticket? It rolls over to the next month if you don't use it. So you don't lose it. You're guaranteed to be able to use that ticket eventually in the long run. And you'll get member pricing for any additional tickets you buy. For more info on the Cinemark Rewards, that's the movie fan or the movie club level, hit the show notes for details and sign up today. Now let's get back to this review. This was fun. MCU movies always going to be interesting. It's been weird since Endgame, I would say. This last phase wasn't it. I'm excited for the Kang realm, the Kang series, whatever you want to call it, the Kang phase Kang. We was Kangs. Made a face like Ice Cube. I don't have here in front of me. I think Reese, we're going to be back next week for the Cocaine Bear. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be fun. And Shad, I have you next for Creed 3.
I'm seeing that.
Didn't I sign up for Creed 3?
You did not.
Okay, I meant to.
But you still can.
I might say pull up for Creed 3.
And then I got Tyler for Scream 6. So
I'm sorry for that too.
You try to be the co-host? Like what are you doing?
I'm like, dang. But no,
actually, I might skip one. That's 2 in March. I might skip one of those.
Take your time. If go out on the Shazam, nobody signed up for Creed Shazam 3? Or John Wick.
Shazam, I'm gonna sign up for that one.
I don't give a fuck about Shazam, to be honest. I'm gonna see it
after Black Adam. We need to be avenged. And I just look, I just seen that man, and I'm still like this. That movie was trash.
No comment. I ain't gonna talk about your friend right now. But
you know that was a Dookie movie.
Like Reese said, we're gonna get off track. So I'm gonna get us up out of here. I got a lot of editing to do after we get out of here, but I appreciate y'all for coming through.
Yeah, motherfuckers yelling at me in the group chat because I'm in charge of ordering the pizza. So.
Oh, you ain't ordered the pizza? You could have did that digitally.
Until next time. In like old school.
Until next time, folks. Peace.
Peace.